News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
The victim of Friday's ATV crash has been identified. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Monday, June 22nd, 2015. Skies filled with really gorgeous clouds this morning, a pretty sunrise. We've got 53 degrees in Missoula right now. Our newscast sponsored by AB Technology Solutions, offering free pickup and delivery in the Missoula area. Find them online at abtechnologysolutions.com. 38-year-old Chad David Belcourt was killed Friday evening in an ATV crash that occurred near Evero. Montana Highway Patrol Trooper Paul Pfau told KGVO News that Belcourt was riding a Polaris ATV when the accident occurred.
There were two ATV riders, a father and son, riding together, headed downhill on Grooms Road, and traveling fast, too fast for the road, and the son lost control, and the ATV overturned on him.
Pfau said in addition to the fact that neither man was wearing any protective gear, such as a helmet, impaired riding was also a factor.
It appears to be both alcohol and speed appear to be factors contributing to this crash.
Belcourt was transported to St. Patrick Hospital, where he was pronounced deceased. Authorities say a Colorado family, including a 2-year-old boy, walked away from a single-engine plane crash in northwestern Montana. Lake County Sheriff Don Bell told the Missoulian newspaper the pilot, who was the boy's father, reported engine failure as the plane approached Polson Airport Friday afternoon. The man tried to glide the plane toward a large field, but strong headwinds forced him to crash land in a much smaller field. The plane's front landing gear was wiped out in the crash. The propeller, nose, tail, and one wing were all damaged. Bell said the family declined medical treatment, but, quote, they'll probably have the typical seatbelt marks that come with a sudden stop. Investigators have not released the names of anyone involved. A female cross-country bicycle racer crashed during a practice run on Marshall Mountain Friday and was rescued by crews from Missoula Rural Fire. Senior firefighter Rob Hollenbeck said Friday was the day for practice runs before the main competition occurred yesterday, or make that Saturday.
There was a gal from Colorado that was going off one of the jumps towards the top of the mountain, and it sounded like she had a pretty bad wreck. Some other riders witnessed it, and she fell trying to land the jump and hurt her lower back.
Hollenbeck said the rescue took about 90 minutes to complete in difficult terrain.
There was just kind of some difficult access and required us to use what we call a Stokes basket to put her on a backboard and in a Stokes basket, and then we have wheeled litter to get her out.
She was transported to St. Patrick Hospital. Her condition is unknown. We will have results from that competition coming up on sports here in a moment. Investigators have determined that the fire at the Livestock Commission building in Miles City was an accident. However, KULR reports because of the extensive damage to the building, the exact cause is undetermined. Firefighters were called to the building just before 12:30 p.m. June 14th. When they arrived, the second story was on fire. Officials say the fire started in the main building, an estimated $1 million in damage. And on Friday, crews from Missoula Rural Fire and the Department of Natural Resources and Conservation responded to a grass fire on Saddleback in the Big Flat area. Assistant Fire Chief Brent Christopherson said the original call came in just before noon.
As they got on scene, they found about a half-acre fire burning in grass, and it was threatening one structure. It came within about 60 yards of that structure. Firefighters were able to get a line around the fire and save the structure.
Christopherson reminds residents that controlled burning is currently closed in Missoula County as fire danger is high and conditions are deteriorating by the day due to the lack of rainfall and, of course, strong winds.
We're looking at some pretty tall grass and drying conditions because of the wind you talked about, Peter, and lack of rainfall. So it's really deteriorating out there as far as wildland conditions go.
Christopherson says one crew was pulled off the fire to respond to that bike accident we already reported on Marshall Mountain. Montana's top education officials says the state will continue doing business with a testing company, despite technical flaws this year that likely drop Montana below a required participation rate. Superintendent of Public Instruction Denise Juneau announced Thursday the state has calculated that about 82% of Montana's public school students took the assessments provided electronically by Measured Progress. It's the first time Montana's failed to reach the 95% participation rate required under the 2001 No Child Left Behind Act. Juneau made the tests voluntary about 2 weeks into testing after widespread technical glitches made the exams nearly impossible at some schools. She says measured progress did its best to address those issues. The U.S. Department of Education will conduct a final assessment of state participation rates in the coming months. Authorities were able to pinch off the gas line late Friday afternoon after a main line was ruptured in downtown Hamilton. Sergeant Bob Learke with the Hamilton Police Department said the call came at about 1:27 Friday afternoon.
We have some construction on the 100 block of Fairgrounds Road that's been going on this week, and today the main gas line, it's a 6-inch main just south of Fairgrounds Road, during construction got ruptured, and the gas is blowing straight into the air. At one point it was probably 100 feet into the air, and it's blowing primarily to the south. We haven't had any really significant wind changes, so it's been going to the south.
Several local businesses were evacuated as a result, but officials say roads were reopened after only a few hours, and all businesses but one were allowed to have workers return.
North of Fairgrounds, we have BJ's and Rebelli Services evacuated. South of Fairgrounds, we have S&S, Auto Body, McDonald's, Papa Murphy's, Evans Ace, Fish House Tackle, Indian View Dental, the Bargain Corner Thrift Store, Chang's, the Gold Coin Casino, and the UPS store, all evacuated.
Learke says Northwestern Energy was on scene within minutes. Crews were, of course, they fixed that gas line on Friday. The Chippewa Cree tribe will hold a special election for a new chairman at the end of this month. The position has been vacant since 2012, when the tribe's business committee removed Ken Blatt St. Mark's for corruption allegations. And the suggestion by Senator Steve Daines that the U.S. Treasury put the face of Jeanette Rankin on the $10 bill is being welcomed by advocates of the nation's first female congresswoman. Betsy Mulligan-Daig is director of the Jeanette Rankin Peace Center in Missoula. She told the Missoulian newspaper that the nomination is a big step forward for women to be taken seriously in the world. Our News Talk time now is 6:12.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Partly sunny skies today with our high temperatures in the low 80s. Winds will be out of the west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy this evening with our lows right around 50. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.